Okay. Let me check the tech. It says we are live. Oh, hang on. It says we are live. I'm going to check it on my Facebook stream here. Let's see. We are live. Okay, it is official. We are live on AWW's Facebook. So, what is up, wrestling friends? This is Derek Lewandowski, and you are watching AWW Radio live on Facebook. Maybe you're listening on our podcast. We welcome you either way. I am here with the other half of the Bleacher Brothers and the biggest Simon Fraser fan on the East Coast, Ben Lewandowski.
Hey, wait, Derek, am I supposed to do the same thing I do on the radio right now?
Yeah, it was already bad, but now it's even worse since you interrupted yourself during a bad greeting.
Okay, let me just start again.
Okay.
You want to start it again? Like introduce me again?
Yeah. Okay. I'm here with my brother from the same mother.
Hey, peeps, what's happening?
All right, there he is.
I'm not really confident.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. It still might need to go away. I'm going to put another poll up on.
Well, let's move on, bro.
It's pretty bad. I think. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the live stream just lost like 75% of the viewers from that greeting. We are here with our friend, no stranger to women's college wrestling. We welcome you, head coach of McKendree University, Sam Schmitz.
How we doing?
Now that is a legit greeting.
Simple.
Yeah, that was so much better than mine.
Yeah, it was
it shows all my personality.
Yeah, could you give Ben lessons, like, not now, but like later on, some private lessons on like social.
I'll put together a whole seminar.
General social interactions.
Perfect.
That'd be helpful. And this is a great time to do it because I'm not having any right now.
It would be, yeah. You could practice on your kids.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, if we're talking about the kid race here, okay, I've got 6 kids. Ben, you've got 7, 1 on the way. Coach Sam, you got 1. You just had a baby girl a year ago.
Yeah, I'm well behind you guys, but one baby girl. She actually turns 1 on Sunday. So.
Oh, congratulations!
Awesome.
Are you going to have any like first year traditions where you like put a whole cake in front of her and just have her just demolish it?
My wife has been talking about that. I honestly, she kept saying smash cake. She said it probably 3 or 4 times. We got to get smash cake. And about the 3rd time, I said, I don't want to know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? What's a smash cake? I mean, I kind of put it together, but I didn't know that was an actual thing. Obviously, this is kind of the most time I've ever spent around a child. Is my own daughter. So
well, it's kind of like it really is like wrestling training for a 1-year-old. She's not wrestling actual opponents yet. She's wrestling a cake.
She's just digging through it like she's hand fighting. Yeah, exactly.
Club cake, hand fight that cake. We'll score it. Like if you put it on Facebook, we'll share it and we'll have the public score her match against the cake. Is that good?
If they don't vote for it and say that she won, you're going to have to give me some addresses because I'm going to have to go see some people because they better vote that she won the battle.
Well,
I vote right now she won.
Okay.
That's understandable. Ben, that's the only match you won in your wrestling career, right? Was as a 1-year-old against like it was like a pie or something.
Smash the cake, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think the funniest thing I've ever heard from your guys' podcast is I was listening and you were talking about being second string on a high school team. And I can't remember which one of you said it and said the craziest thing is I was the only guy at the weight class.
Right.
And it made me think that if that your high school coach was forfeiting, even though you were there and you'd weigh in, no, we're going to forfeit.
You know what's even crazier? It's actually true.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually true.
No, it's not actually true.
Might have been a little hyperbole in
there.
No,
Ben was the okayest wrestler ever to wrestle for Schoharie High.
I was okay.
Coach, his half Nelson was like way above average.
I don't think I ever put a half Nelson on anyone, ever. You know what I did? I did do was the 3/4 Nelson. Wait, I might have got caught in the 3/4 Nelson. Just a few times.
I just know my first high school match ever, I got cradled pretty bad. Didn't get pinned, but it was a start to my high school career.
Coach, what was her name, Coach?
Exactly, right? And come to find out, they didn't win a match after that. That was the first and only match they won, but it was me.
Wow.
Hey man, it's all about work ethic and embracing the grind and getting better. And now you are the head coach of a two-time national champion college team. Just a few highlights of this year and of Coach Sam's career. This is your 7th year at McKendree, if I have that right.
Yeah.
McKendree went back-to-back this year at the NCAA National Duels, which had an NCAA division for the first time this year. That was pretty cool. McKendree won the National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championship team race, had 5 national champions this year, 13 All-Americans if I counted right.
Yeah.
And last year it was actually the first time last year at WCWA's. Well, you had 2 firsts in the 2018-19 season. It's the first time the team won the NWCA duels, right?
Yeah.
And it was the first time you had a national champion, and you had 2 of them in Alex Glaude and Destiny Garrick.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, just talk about your year and what it's like to kind of break through as a program and get to this place.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we've been around 7 years, and we've had plenty of success and lots of great wrestlers, and haven't quite, like you're saying, broken through the things that we've wanted to. Right, that last tournament. Being the WCWA national tournament the last 6 years before that, and then the WCWC or whatever acronym you want to use for it this year, the NCAA tournament. But we had a good year. I think behind the scenes, and maybe it was me just being hard on myself as a coach, but I felt like this year was a struggle collectively just to kind of figure out what we were. We had a lot of new kids coming into the program, and just getting them to buy in and kind of knowing what we were doing was tough this year, but it ended up, really well. And I think when the girls were on the mat, they were really performing and doing well. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty fun year. So.
I want to ask a few interview questions up front. Then we're actually going to break and have a little fun with you because I know you're a good sport. So the first question we need to answer in the interview, both Ben and I are wondering this. What the heck is a Bearcat? Could you?
I tell people it's a mystical creature. So I'm not quite sure. I remember looking it up when I first started working here, and there's a name for it. And now, one of you might be able to look it up. I'm not as computer savvy, but it's there's another name for it that they call it in the wild. But I can't remember it right now. But what I tell everybody, it's a mystical creature. So it looks good though, right? I mean, at least here it looks intimidating. So whatever it is, it's scary looking.
Yeah, it's like that man, bear, pig thing in that one cartoon. Half man, half bear, half pig.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's different. A what?
A binturong?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, so that's like the official name for it.
What's it called?
A binturong.
A binturong or ron?
Wrong.
Ronga. Okay.
Yeah,
Or I also saw the name Viverine, which is like a Wolverine.
I like that one.
Yeah, Viverine. I don't know. I have to look up that a little bit more.
I hadn't seen that one. I like that one though. That sounds. I might just use that one. Hey, look up Viverine.
Viverine.
Yeah, the McKendree Viverines. Oof.
It's a lot. That's a mouthful, but I'm okay.
It's good. I like it. It's good. It's better than the McKendree Viverongs.
There we go.
Binturongs.
Well, I said wrong.
Okay, got it.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that, and Ben, thanks for that research. That's excellent.
You bet.
Appreciate that background. We're learning so much about wrestling right now.
Deep dives.
Coach, how did you end up at McKendree?
So I coached my first year out of college. I graduated college in 2010, and I was a grad assistant for our men's wrestling team at my alma mater, Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri. And I coached there for a year, and then I made a move over to Lindenwood University in Belleville, Illinois, which is just about 25 minutes from here. And I was a grad assistant and finished my master's degree over there. It was a sister school, so basically I was actually living in St. Charles, which is a 40-minute drive, and working in Belleville. So I was making that drive twice, 40 minutes each way, but able to finish my graduate degree in education. And then that next year, I got hired on at Belleville to be part-time head women's wrestling coach. And then I was still the assistant for the men's team there. And in that time we were a part of the NWCA, which is the club team organization. I believe.
Got it. Yep.
What it is. And then, around March, a little kind of around, springtime where we're at, Coach Kiskin called me, who's the head men's coach here, and said, hey, we're starting a women's wrestling program. They told me I could pick the coach, and I want you to come over here in 15 minutes and interview. And I was like, I barely had enough gas money to get over there. I didn't even know if I had a clean shirt or a tie to do an interview, but I marched over as fast as I could, and kind of the rest is history. So
now you were a wrestler. Where did you wrestle in college?
I wrestled at Clackamas Community College for 2 years. I redshirted my freshman year and then wrestled 2006, 2007 was technically my redshirt freshman year.
Okay.
And then I transferred to Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri, and finished out my next 3 years. And it was a great experience and a lot of fun, a lot of success that we had. It was awesome.
Do you find that the competitive edge as an athlete, does that come out as a coach?
Yeah. And I think early in my career, probably more than it ever should have, right? I would be way jumping around and fired up and excited about, wrestlers out there, almost wishing you had a PlayStation controller and I could move them around. And I think now I've come to grips and had a little more peace with like, man, all the work is done in practice. And I kind of just get to sit back and see the kids perform. And that's been, it's been a tough thing because I was really fired up when I was young, I guess. I guess I'm still young, but.
Well, there's a few viral videos in the wrestling community this year that featured a certain Bearcat coach. We call it coach dancing.
Yeah. I think they finally caught me. I think they finally saw me in that element where the kids know I'm crazy, and my wife knows I'm crazy, and other coaches I coach with know I'm nuts. But I think somebody finally got me on videotape. So.
Yeah. Well, Ben and I are trying to learn that dance so that we want to get a viral TikTok video threaded with you doing that coach dance.
There we go. We could do it. I can't spell TikTok or know how to use it, but if you guys show me, I'm willing to.
I downloaded TikTok the other day just for this moment.
Perfect.
And so I've been working to get ready.
Ben, do you want to show your progress at all?
I'd rather just hold it to the end if possible.
Yeah, to make that big, almost like releasing a movie. Right?
I can actually, if you do a little bit of movement, I can be him. Like I can do a little movement with you.
Just like.
I don't even know if I think if I was tapping my leg and I lean.
Yeah, you're definitely leaning.
The lean is definitely one of them.
That's it. I call it the Schmitz. That's what I call the dance.
There we go.
The Schmitz, yeah. It's a thing now. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's big.
How has being a dad helped you? You talked about how you've added maybe some softness. Not that you're soft, but you've added some a different flavor to your coaching, I guess.
Yeah, I think again, kind of back to that peace thing. I think being a dad is just I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just kind of brought me some peace and knowing that at the end of the day, no matter how many of these girls want to hate me during the day, at least there's 1.5 girls that love me when I get home, right? And so and that's brought me some peace. But at the same time, just watching her learn and watching her grow and helping with my patience, changing diapers and kind of having to put my own life on the back burner, my own selfish things that I want to do, right? Working out and eating in peace and not having my daughter trying to grab food off my plate. I mean, that kind of stuff, right, has brought me a lot of patience. And patience and peace is kind of what it's brought for me into my coaching, I think.
And how has the quarantine affected you and your program?
It's kind of different. I mean, this time we'd be getting ready to go to junior and U23 World Team trials kind of right about now, right? And we've tried to have some Zoom meetings just to kind of connect and kind of banter back and forth and chat with each other and just see each other and answer any questions the girls might have, that kind of stuff. But I think it's affected us a little bit as far as training goes, but I think collectively, we're a pretty tight unit, and the girls look out for each other, and I try to check on them as much as I can. So that hasn't changed a ton, but definitely the training aspect is it's driving me nuts. It was a nice break for a while. Now I'm like, man, I wish I was in that wrestling room. Like,
let's get back to it. Yeah, right.
There's a lot of things that I wanted to work on the end of the year with certain kids that obviously.
Yeah, I have a question. So recruiting and stuff. I mean, I see a lot of stuff happening where you guys are recruiting some new wrestlers coming into the program. How does that affect your recruiting? When do you typically spend your time recruiting?
I mean, usually from the beginning of the year. I mean, shoot, I've even talked to juniors, right, that are going to be seniors next year. So it kind of starts now for next year. So a lot of the kids you see signing, they've either signed a while ago and we just haven't announced it yet, or it's finally we're kind of getting down to that last decision that they're trying to make, for their own life, right? Is like, hey, I'm going to either go to McKendree or it's somewhere else, and they're finally making the decision, hey, I want to come be a Bearcat. But even in this time over the last 6 years has been a lot of the tournaments that we've gone to, right? Where high school kids are wrestling, where folk style nationals and junior world team trials and where you're seeing a lot of kids, you're making contact with coaches. We've had tables and booths set up where kids and parents can come up and chat with us. And that happens a lot in the spring too. But so now it's just, it's kind of trying to make sure those kids that we have contacted and have been working with are committing to us, and then, starting the process for next year. And hopefully all this dies down so we can actually talk face to face with people. So
can you talk about your recruiting class now, and like who are some of the young athletes coming into the program?
Yeah, we've got like a few Missouri girls who have committed to us, which is nice. We've only had one Missouri girl on our team for the last 2 years, Carly Valeroy. So it's nice to get some other, local kids. They're across the Mississippi, but you want to keep them at least close to home, and Justice and Jasmine Seeley, they're down in Waynesville, Missouri. Megan Stutzman is from Wentzville Holt High School out in Missouri. And then we have Haley Cox, who took some time off for a while and is committing and coming to school and going to wrestle again. And we're excited about her. She was a cadet world team member. And just took some time and was working and doing her thing, and now wants to get back into wrestling. Her boyfriend's actually going to come here and play baseball too, so that's kind of cool. It's a deal, so they're going to do that. Just the other day, Emily Patnud committed to us. She wrestles at Clovis Gilroy High School in California, where Daniel Cormier coaches and Jerron Wynn, those guys. So that's been cool. We got a transfer from Missouri Baptist. Aaliyah Rollins is going to come over here, who originally actually signed with us last year as a senior in high school.
Okay.
He committed, went to Missouri Baptist, and then now is making her way back to us. So that's been nice to have her come back. She's a stud. So yeah.
Real quick question, Derek, and we can get to your hot takes in a second. I was just curious, outside of Joy, niece, because my niece Joy wrestles for you. Mm-hmm. Outside of her, is there anyone else you really regret recruiting?
I think it goes the other way. I think it goes the other way. I think kids get here and they regret coming here because I'm just so hard on them.
I'm sure they love that part.
I think it goes the other way around. They're like, dude, this guy was way nice during the recruiting process. Now he's just yelling and making us run sprints, and he's crazy. So.
Well, I got to give you the backstory here, okay? Just briefly.
I heard a little bit. He wasn't. Yeah, he just, man. I thought family was supposed to stick together. This man just hates on his.
I am sticking together. She's the one who rejected me by losing.
So,
I spit my coffee all over the computer.
Yeah. So we did predictions for the NCAA nationals at WCWC. Yeah. I just because McKendree had a great squad going in. I picked a lot of McKendree wrestlers. He favored SFU. The one Cinderella pick he did make was his niece at 155. Thought she could pull it out. When she didn't, there's just been this grudge happening, and it's playing out publicly now. Ben, are you going to keep holding on to that?
I'm until she does something to prove herself in life. I will.
I'm gonna stand up for her for a second. I know we're having there we go. I know we're having fun, but I'm gonna stand up for her because Joy is an amazing blessing that we've had on our team. And she works about as hard as anybody I've ever seen. Is dedicated to wrestling, is dedicated to her schoolwork, and it leads by example. And I wish I say this about a lot of our kids, but if we had 10 Joys, we would never lose. And she's very, 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 very much a huge part of our program, both just wrestling wise, but spiritually, emotionally, and just her personality just brings so much to our team. It's people, I think, underestimate how much the person brings to your team, not just the wrestling portion, right? The wrestling moves, right, and the winning the match and stuff. Just the person that she brings to our team is pretty incredible. And we wouldn't be what we are without kids like that. And I can say that for a lot of our kids, but without Joy, we would never be the program that we are. That's for sure. And I stand behind 100%, 1,000%. So.
Well, one of the silver linings.
I know you're joking, but I got to stand up for my girl. So
you absolutely.
One of the silver linings of the quarantine is, being able to have her home, with the Sibs, and they're out in the garage working out, and she's, motivating them and showing them, different nuances to technique, and so that's been a selfish silver lining for us as a family having her home. So, but yeah, we want to see her get back to the mat, and of course. Ben's joking around, but if there is any credit to go to any family influence, I will take all of that. Ben had really no positive influence on her throughout the years. So
I'm literally. Let's move on.
Yeah, you know what? Which segment do you want to do, Ben? It's a good time to segue to either we could do awkward questions, hot takes, or dad jokes. Which one?
Oh, yeah, they're all good, bro. Let's sandwich the hot takes in the middle of awkward questions and dad jokes.
Okay, well, Coach Sam, yeah, he has dad jokes.
Yeah.
2 books. I got 2 books. I was offended yesterday. Actually, going back to Joyce, she said I only had 1 dad joke book, and I took offense to that. There's 2.
All right.
Stockpiling, so.
This is good. Okay, so we can have a legit competition, and the way this is going to work is.
Are we doing dad jokes right now?
We're doing dad jokes.
Okay.
Wait, what is going on here? What is that?
Get my all right.
If there's any.
Wait a second. I have to say something first.
What?
I have been asking Joy repeatedly, maybe not at all, but I have been wanting some McKendree gear, and she sent me nothing. Derek sent me nothing. Joy sent me nothing. So I have to make my own gear here.
That's not McKendree gear.
What's that?
That is not McKendree gear that you're wearing. You know that, right? That's Simon Fraser. That's McKendree's bitter rival.
Well, I didn't really know that, Derek.
You see the Canadian leaf? It's not even our country, Ben. It's not even America.
You guys are close enough to Canada, though, right? He could just go up there.
I am. I'm very close.
That's the thing.
I can see Canada right now out my window.
Perfect.
So.
Just go on up there. Go root for the Maple Leafs, and
I'll put the shirt back on.
Hey, you know what? If there's any team out there, there's a few that I really respect and love, and that's one of them. Those coaches do a great job. Justin Abdu is a great guy and works hard, and yeah. So I don't even mind the Canadian Simon Fraser shirt. Justin's a good guy. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a lot of fun to watch them this year, and of course, them being an NCAA program, having them at the National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championships was a lot of fun. I mean, those Godinez-Gonzalez sisters just blew it up.
Those girls, listen. Those Simon Fraser girls, no matter which one you're wrestling, they're always tough. They're always tough. They always battle, and so it doesn't matter if it's the 3rd or 4th string kid at a weight. Those kids are tough, man. And they do something right. There must be something in the water. They're doing something on top of that Burnaby Mountain that is good. So, well,
it's similar to the way that you approach your program with depth at every weight, so they have good partners, and you always see them at tough tournaments, and they have that really tough international tournament that you took your squad to, the SFU Open. Mm-hmm. They've been a lot of fun to watch. Okay, so back to dad jokes. So Coach Sam has a book, then,
right.
here.
I got some here, but my book, it's good.
Okay, so the way this is going to work is, let's see. Do we want to let's square up? Let's have Ben go against Coach Sam. Okay. And the rules are: if you laugh, the other guy gets a point. If you smile, the other guy gets a point. Okay.
All right.
So, Ben, you are up.
I'm already losing though. I'm already smiling. Okay.
Yeah, but you have to look Coach Sam in the face.
Okay.
And deliver your joke. Coach Sam, you have to listen to the joke. Here we go.
All right, here we go. You ready, Coach Sam? Let's make this happen. Dad joke number one. Got to read it. Did you hear the news? FedEx and UPS are merging. They're going to go by the name Fed Up from now on.
Oh, the joke's done? Oh. I was just waiting until I could go.
All right, Coach Sam, you're up.
I could start by reading my book, but I have to ask you a question. Do you want to hear my dad joke about pizza?
Yes.
Heck yes.
No, I'll save it for later. It's a little too cheesy to start with.
Okay, you're up. So Ben, you got to stare at Coach Sam here.
Dad, that was the joke.
That was the joke, you idiot. And I smiled.
What?
You're a moron.
Oh my gosh.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, but he was going against you and you're laughing. So
Yeah, but I had to laugh so you knew it was a joke, you moron. You did it better than me. All right.
good thing I'm not up right now.
All right. So I guess I'll give a point to Sam on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's my turn. Man, and you know what's annoying? The jokes I have, Sam, Derek printed out for me. I'm not even confident that these are.
He's sabotaging. He set you up for failure.
Just a true story, actually, the other day. I was driving home from my house, and there was like 3 vultures on the side of the road eating a dead skunk. Boy, that meal had to stink.
Probably did. Oh, okay.
Ben,
Do I get points? Do I get points if I don't laugh and he does?
you know that's true. Yeah, you do.
Listen, we're having fun, but I'm trying to win. Okay.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bothering me. Okay, I got to really try to win here.
Okay, so Ben, it's 2-0. What are we going to here?
Your call, Derek.
Let's go to 4.
He's got a book in front of him. I have papers that I printed off from you.
Listen, anything that I gave you is an upgrade from what you would normally come up with. Okay. So how about a little gratitude here for Big Bro?
Yeah. All right.
All right, who's up? Coach Sam, you're up.
I think I'm up. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A dad.
A dad who?
A dad who loves you. Oh, happy Father's Day, Dad. Thanks. Now open the door. I lost my keys. That one's not funny.
Okay.
I'm going to hold the stare, Derek.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
Is it right at the end of the joke or what?
I'm going to count to 5 seconds in my head.
Okay, here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The cow says.
The cow says, moo?
And you don't even know how to tell a joke, Sam.
Oh, it was your joke?
Yeah, I know, but you got to say, the cow says who? Then I say,
moo.
Sam. The cow says moo, bro.
Got it. Well, I kind of thought you were going to go there, but
That was a
the cow does say moo, so I was trying to help.
No, you were right. You were absolutely right. You were correcting me. Well done.
Am I giving a point out there?
So I can smile.
No, that's it. We can smile. No points. That
Okay.
was a lame joke.
Coach Sam, you're up.
My doctor says I don't need to worry about the bird flu because it's tweetable.
Okay, Ben. Good job.
All right, I'm getting frustrated because I'm not winning.
I'm going to have to put somebody on the shot clock here.
Okay, well, I heard one the other day, but I can't remember it right now. That wasn't a joke. I got one. Knock,
Okay.
knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting
Moo!
cow. I figured you were going to interrupt me. Okay.
I gotta give him a point. I'm doing awful at this.
Okay. Do you want? I actually have a pretty good one. It's a dad joke. It's a dad joke about construction.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm still working on it. Gosh, dang it.
Okay, look.
You're doing a good job, bro. You're delivering really good, though.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a point for just cumulative delivery.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty tough audience on the regular. So the girls, I was telling my wife this story. The girls are always. I was actually telling them jokes standing in line at weigh-ins at at national duels. I had this book out and I was telling them jokes, and I'm pretty sure the other girls on other teams were like, "What is that guy and what is he doing and why is he?" And they're all looking at me, sunken in faces, getting ready to weigh in, just never laughing. So that's my usual audience.
I'm telling you, but he's a pro, Ben. He's
definitely, yeah.
All right, he's up 3-0. If he gets another one, it's a tech fall. You're done, Ben.
What's tech fall?
4-0.
That's what we decided. That's a tech.
And a win.
All right.
Because I'm closer to getting there.
Man,
So
I'm not really. I'm looking at all these stinking jokes. Oh, this is a good one. It's not good. Okay, this is dead air. All right, sorry. A slice of apple pie is $2.50 in Jamaica. It's $3 in the Bahamas.
There has to be a point for me. He couldn't even get through it.
Coach Sam wins.
I still want to tell him. We'll save it for later. We'll save it.
Oh, I want to hear another.
Ben, what's the punchline of that?
A slice of apple pie is $2.50 in Jamaica and $3 in Bahamas. These are the pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Jiminy Christmas.
I guess that, Coach, you advanced to me.
Oh, we're going to okay.
Yeah, right. So,
got it.
Ben,
I realized that was a piggyback round. Is this a double elimination?
That's big deal.
Warming me up.
Yeah, I was sitting in Final X.
Okay. World medalist dad joke.
Okay, so Coach, you're the challenger, so I guess you can go first. Ben, what are we going to? 3? We're going to 3.
We go to 3.
Okay.
I'm up first.
You're up.
Okay, so how do you make a waterbed bouncier? You use spring water. I think there's a little smirk in there.
A natural face. All right, I'll give you 1. Okay. I'm up.
He's so much better at this than us, and we both have the kids.
Okay, here we go.
Yourself in the face.
Okay, the face.
No, slap yourself in the face. Thank you.
Okay, Austin DeSanto myself.
Jeez.
Okay. All right. I can't. Oh, come on now.
I got a really good one in it, actually.
Okay.
Come on, Derek. Come on.
Okay.
Hey, listen, look at me. Look at me. Don't pull a joy. Don't pull a joy.
Okay. If you see a robbery at an Apple store, are you an eyewitness?
That was seriously the joke? I keep bringing the punchlines from you guys.
Okay, he gets another point. It's 2-0 him. Okay, I'm going to get skunked too.
So where do you think the United States got Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, and Arkansas from?
I don't know.
An A state sale. Okay, that one was
That's the good one you had?
All right.
My wife would have liked it. I got Alaska's on there. She would have enjoyed that one.
Okay. If a fish lived on land, where would they live? Finland.
I hear it's a nice place.
It is. Has houses and stuff.
Yeah. And fish.
All right, you're up.
Why? So I get. Actually, my girls will probably appreciate this. So why was the piece of gum bent out of shape?
I don't know why.
It had just been chewed out, man. He's laughing.
All right, he wins. All right, Coach Sam, congratulations. You won the round robin. Hey, what's that, Jack? What
Jack's got a joke. I love it.
Okay, yeah, Jack, I'm gonna let Jack. You wanna? He's been itching to share this joke. Come on in, Jack. Share his original dad joke. This is my son, Jack. He's growing a mullet for wrestling. You see that?
Perfect. I have a joke for Jack when he's done too. So.
All right, so Jack, you give Coach Sam one joke, and then he will give you one. Go ahead.
What's brown and sticky? A stick.
That didn't go so good.
It is. So Jack, did you see the debate with Kyle Dake and Jordan Burroughs the other day on Flow Wrestling?
Sort of.
A little bit. It was pretty intense, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Kind of. They were getting back and forth. You want to know what else is intense? Camping. That's intense too. Also, the circus is intense.
Okay, you gotcha. Jack loses. Okay, Coach Sam beat us 6-0. That was.
I think you guys took it easy on me because I'm a guest. So
That's humiliating. It's humiliating.
You just laugh a lot. The Burroughs Dake could be some good hot take start there. Burroughs Dake debate.
All right. Let's talk about we're going to do hot takes. Okay. So, I guess maybe this isn't a hot take, but what do you think about that, Coach Sam? What do you think about the, I don't know, kind of the smack talking MMA, UFC culture that's kind of creeping into wrestling?
I don't know. I don't want to say much because all those guys are way tougher than I am. They'll probably beat me up, but if they ever hear this. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's good for the sport. I think it adds a little bit of like excitement. And, oh man, they're gonna wrestle. Remember, they're talking trash to each other. That kind of excitement. But I don't know. I love the humility and the humbleness of people that are really, really, really world class and tough. And I love that. That they can go out and dismantle the best people in the world, and then go and hang out with their 3 kids and do push-ups in the park. Like that just to me is really, really awesome. So I don't know. I don't know. It kind of bugged me. It rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, that conversation, but.
Well, we're about to see because we have a guest coming in right now. Please welcome Coach Lee Miracle.
Perfect.
I'm kidding.
He's not here? Oh.
He's not here. But I do remember a little bantering going on at the Missouri Valley Open between you and a certain guy.
Yeah. And again, when I answer that question, I'm not perfect either. I've gotten my fair share of yellow cards and been kicked out of a tournament here and there, but I don't know. We live and we learn, right?
Yeah. Well, I saw you get the yellow card. I actually have a video of the moment that it happened at the WCWC Nationals. By the way, the reason I keep trying to say this name correctly is because I got an email from one of the guys. I think it was the Adrian coach, and he's like, "Could you please, you and the rest of the media guys, say the name of that event correctly? Everybody's calling it the WCWC Nationals. It's the National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championship." So I said, I will do my part to right the ship there.
We actually got our banner in the mail yesterday, I think. Yesterday or the day before.
Is that what it says on it?
Yeah, it says NCWWC.
Okay.
Nationals, Cliff Keen Nationals. So pretty cool.
Okay, so back to the yellow card thing. Do you think that coaches should be allowed to yellow card referees?
Well, yeah, I have to answer yes. Yes.
So you got like a brick and then a yellow card that.
Yeah, they get too many of them. They're just bounced. They're just out.
Yeah, so they come at you like, "Hey, coach, yellow card." You'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at this."
I think the biggest problem with me is I when I'm at a men's tournament, you can argue a little bit with NCAA officials, right? I mean, you shouldn't, but you can. There's a little bit more talking that can happen, or you can say some things. With freestyle, it's like immediately shut down, boom, no. And so I can't switch over to just either throwing the brick or going to the table, that kind of stuff, and asking a question. It's just different. So
yeah, it's like talking back to a police officer almost when you get into that world. Yeah. All right, hot take. Your thoughts on athletes, elite, blue chip recruit, female wrestlers coming out of high school, going to RTCs or the OTC instead of college programs under the explanation that they're going to get better by going to the RTCs or the OTCs?
I was fine with it until you hit me with that. I think honestly, there's a place for everybody, right? So if that's a path a kid wants to take, I mean, that's a path they want to take, especially if they're going to a college where that RTC is, they're willing to take them on and wrestle and they can get better. I mean, that's cool. There's a place for everybody, just like McKendree's not the place for everybody. There's an RTC out there where maybe they do think they can get better. But I don't know. I mean, I think you can get better with the right coach, whether they were a world champ or they're a Division I national champ or a junior college national champ, or they weren't even a wrestler in college at all. I think there's a right fit for kids and certain coaches for kids. I think they can get better wherever, as long as you believe in who's coaching you, I think.
Okay, but let's say you're recruiting somebody and they bring that up. Well, I think I'm going to go to this RTC and skip college because I'm not going to get better going to McKendree. I'm going to get better going to this RTC.
Good luck. Good luck. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe you want a better answer from me. Just good luck. I mean, if that's what you think, that's go more power to you. Go get it done. And I hope you do get better, just like a kid turns me down and hey, it's not the fit for me. It's like, okay, good luck. We'll see you down the road. Hopefully we'll wrestle you down the road, but good luck. So,
but as a coach, you feel like you're offering. Do you feel like you're offering the quality of development that someone,
Yeah, I mean, I think we try to. We try to. I don't think that it's perfect, but I think we try to offer that development. I think, in that development. I mean, I want to develop kids, and I'm trying to offer them that level of development, and I fail at that and don't do it perfectly. But if I'm constantly as a coach trying to get better and make sure I can offer that development for a certain kid in the future, I need to be doing that. But yeah, I think we offer that. I mean, we've had world team members and world medalists and now national champs and All-Americans and great wrestlers. And so, who maybe weren't that blue chip recruit out of high school and have turned into a high level college wrestler, a high level senior level athlete. So I think we do offer that development. But again, it's not for everybody, right? The fit maybe isn't for the perfect person. If you don't believe in the coaching style that I have, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody does and they'll get better. You know what I mean?
Let me just insert everybody watching online. Feel free if you want to put any questions in the comment thread. Feel free to just put some questions in there, and we'll be peeking at that throughout the rest of the show. And if you have any questions for Coach Sam, we'd be glad to ask those. Okay, one more hot take. Okay,
that was a button pusher. I was trying to. That was a good one.
Yeah, you did okay. You were really kind there.
Yeah.
You were respectful. All right, here we go. WCWA, stay or go away?
I think it needs to stay for the junior colleges. I think it needs to stay there because they need a tournament to wrestle in. I think the NAIA schools and the NCAA schools are well on their way to having their own tournaments. I think it was a good, obviously it was very, very extremely unfortunate that the NAIA tournament was canceled at the last minute. That's just terrible for those kids and coaches.
Yeah, that was rough.
And you don't want to see that for anybody. But I just think that it's good to, have now that division of like, man, here's the NCAA schools and here's the NAIA schools. And not that one's better than the other, but it's just nice to see it. Right. And, if you're involved or know anything about men's wrestling at those divisions that, I was an NAIA wrestler, so I'm very familiar with the NAIA and have a place in my heart for it. And it's cool to see women's wrestling have their first invitational last year, and then we're going to have their second one this year. But I think the WCWA needs to kind of host those junior college teams that are starting programs that want to wrestle freestyle, and that needs to be their national tournament is what I think it should be. So.
What do you think about the idea of using the WCWA as a multi-divisional national championship with like All-Americans from the NAIA and NCAA as qualifiers?
I think we do that. I think we already do that with the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
With junior world team trials and U23 world team trials. I think U23 world team trials could be that same thing that everybody's talking about. Yeah, it's not a collegiate college wrestling national tournament, but I think it really is. Exactly.
The same players are there, the same characters.
The same kids that would be in the conversation to win those national titles are in the conversation to make that world team. So I think that's one of the best places to showcase that level. And you know, I think that's a good place to do it. So.
All right, you heard it here. Coach Sam says that coaches should be allowed to yellow card referees. WCWA should stick around for junior colleges. And go ahead and go to the RTC.
Good
and
luck.
we hope we wrestle you at a later time. All right, let's go to another segment here. This one's called Awkward Questions.
Oh, jeez.
So if you didn't, I don't know if you knew, but Ben and I are really funny.
I told you guys from jump that I was cracking up.
We're super, super funny. Isn't that right, Ben?
I was surprised that one day how I realized how funny we actually are.
Yeah, it's remarkable. So Ben, you got any awkward questions for?
Well, I was kind of doing a little deep dive, listening to some podcasts, Coach Schmitz, and I was listening. I think a couple weeks ago you were on the Mat podcast, and you were talking about how in high school you were a 4-sport athlete. I was just curious, why not 5? Were you a weaker version of yourself back then, or are you just could never handle yourself?
Yeah, what's up with that, Coach?
I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't tall enough to play basketball and wrestle at the same time, or I would have loved to. And I'm sure people are probably like 4 sports, and they'd started. How does he what? But I played baseball my freshman year, and then I switched to track the next year. Next year I did track again, and then switched to and then played baseball through the summer. So
we have a very similar history. I played soccer, and I was a 4-sport athlete: soccer, baseball, golf. I wrestled, and then my senior year of wrestling, I took off and decided to go to Burger King instead.
And full disclosure, I was a 4-sport athlete, but I did get kicked off the golf team.
I got kicked off the golf team too.
You did?
Did it look like Happy Gilmore?
Oh, I could.
Were you throwing the putter?
I sucked, and I didn't go to practice.
Those are
because it was simultaneous with baseball.
No, golf was simultaneous with soccer in our thing. Well, I got kicked off the team for this. My buddy and I, we were nobody cares, but I'll tell you anyways. We were 5th and 6th on the team. There's 6 players, so we were 5th and 6th, and we had to give the guys our name. And so I told the kid my name was Butch, and my friend told him his name was Leroy. So we golfed the whole day. They were calling us Butch and Leroy the whole day, but it's like a legal thing where you have to sign the card when you're done and all this stuff. So we signed the card, Butch and Leroy, and my coach, after the match was over, which we lost, takes the scorecard. And I remember I was outside and I heard him yell, "Who the blank are Butch and Leroy?" And by the end of the night, I was off the golf team.
And do you remember the time, Ben, that we were golfing and you snapped a club over your knee?
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that. Same day I caught that bass that was huge, though. Remember that, Derek?
Well, I'm the one holding it in the picture.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I'm holding it.
I let you hold it in the picture because you were like down in the dumps, bro.
I caught it. You think you caught it. It was my freaking bass.
All right, move on.
Wait, we have a guest here, Ben.
love it.
Sorry.
We have a guest. Okay, you got another awkward question for Coach Sam?
Yeah, so since you picked wrestling over football when you went to I think that's when you went to Clackamas, if I'm not mistaken. Do you regret not making millions of dollars right now in the NFL?
There's no way on God's green earth that I was going to make millions of dollars playing football. I would have enjoyed it. But
how does it feel to make millions of dollars coaching McKendree?
Oh yeah, that is it's tough. I don't even know why I even have time to talk to you guys right now with all the money that I have to go out and spend. So it's kind of crazy.
Any other awkward questions, Ben?
Those are great awkward questions.
Here's a question. So tonight, one of the things we talk about, Derek, could you lean back real quick?
Yeah.
Dolphins. Oh yeah, I was already going to comment on his dog. I was wondering why he didn't have a Tampa Bay.
Okay. Everything's backwards.
No, so we're big Dolphins fans. Today's draft day, and a couple years ago, there's some debate right now that Miami's going to jump ahead in the draft, and pick somebody. I don't know if you know this, but a couple years ago, this happened. We jumped ahead in the draft and we picked Deion Jordan from Oregon. Sorry, I got to say that right. I know I almost butchered it. So we picked Deion Jordan from Oregon, and I'm just kidding. Oregon,
like nails on a chalkboard.
I know it is, bro, and I'm just kidding. But I'm curious. What are you pointing to? Oh, the chalkboard.
Oh, the duck.
Oh yeah, the Oregon Ducks. Well, I'm just wondering. I was curious why do you think, we wasted a draft pick on him? Like, we should ever
You guys have wasted a lot of draft picks, so you could probably ask that question for days.
Why did you give us Joey Harrington and ruin our franchise? Why did you do that, Coach?
That's a brutal one.
We want to know why. Don't be evasive. Best thing the Dolphins played song. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins.
Yes, Miami Dolphins. What is?
I got to tell you a story real quick. Derek and I went to. Who's holding the fish?
I know. In my mind, I was holding it. You are holding it.
I'm holding the fish.
Listen, I'm a stand-up guy. I apologize publicly. Ben.
Listen, wait a second.
Ben was holding my fish.
Derek and I, we're Dolphins fans. We go to the Buffalo Stadium in Buffalo. By the third quarter is a mess. It's a madhouse. So we're watching the Dolphins play the Bills there. Derek tells me on the way in, he's like, "Hey, let's wear our Dolphin stuff." I said, "Okay, I will." But it was cold, so he decides to wear a jacket over his Dolphin stuff. But I wore a Dolphins jersey on top of my Dolphin stuff. I'm getting beer poured down my back and shoved and pushed. And Derek, he's got his jacket up high, zipped up, and he throws me under the bus all the time.
I love it.
Hey, Ben, I had to make you tougher. I had to do something to make you tougher. All right. Hey, we had a question come in online. This is from actually Billy Cox, Haley Cox, the recruit. It's from her father.
Yeah.
The question is, do you think the growth is too fast for college programs, just right, or needs to be faster?
I think it's a little too fast. And when I say that, I don't mean the split, but I think the growth. I was just talking about this yesterday with one of our coaches on campus. That I think the area that we're struggling with right now is programs keep adding, and there's not enough kids that know what's going on to fill those rosters.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we got to get kids on those teams and filling those rosters so that they keep those programs around, right? I mean, I think we've had a few programs in the last few years that have started and then dropped because they really couldn't gain any traction. So
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I think he's spot on that a little bit of that is it's too fast. So almost like the pond is too small of wrestlers, or maybe maybe not even wrestlers, but maybe wrestlers that because there's a lot of kids out there, wrestlers, California, Texas, that they wrestle in high school, but they're not going to wrestle in college. They're going to go
right
to a school and study what they want to study, or maybe they go into the workforce and
right.
doing a trade or whatever they're doing. But I think it's a little too fast right now, and we got to kind of be smart about when and where we're adding programs, I think. So
maybe the silver lining is the fact that you're getting close to the magic number of 40 though, right? To sanction NCAA women.
Yeah, I think that might help. It will help, but I just when you see the explosion of we're gonna add a wrestling team, then they're struggling to fill the coaching spot, then they're struggling to fill the roster. Right. And I think just it's hard to explain, but I think it should slow down a little bit.
And has that affected? I remember talking to Coach Christy Davis from Emmanuel about this, and how has that affected negatively in your mind recruiting? Like, do you find it harder to? I don't know. Do you find it harder to get a top recruit, like because I have more choices, or I mean, you seem like you're doing well with that, but
I don't know. I think all we can do here is just make sure we're as a coach, as a coaching staff, and as a team, as a university, all we can do is just continue to make a product that people like, right? And meaning have a program that people want to be a part of. have professors and majors and a school that people want to go to, um, and I think that's all we can really do on our side of things, and hopefully people want to be a part of it. So, but I mean, it's tough. It's tough on some ends because, there's a lot of programs out there, and maybe, a program that starts has a lot of scholarship money they can give out. And we're a program where we're pretty competitive. I can't give that out. And It's not that I have it and I'm hoarding it, right? I can't give it to you because I don't have it anymore because somebody else is wrestling and they have that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest area where a kid can go to a new program and get a pretty big scholarship where I can't even get into that debate with them because it's just I have to tell them, like, listen, I can't do that. You're just, if you want to go there and take that scholarship, I understand, because I can't even have that conversation with you. I just don't have it.
Right.
So.
Right. Again, those watching online, we welcome your questions. Thanks, Billy from Utah, for that question. We're taking a peek at that. So if you have any questions as we kind of come into the final phase of our interview with Coach, feel free to post those in the comment thread, and we'll ask that. So circling back now to this year, what highlights stick out to you from this season? Team highlights or individual moments that were really special, or that just stick with you.
Sydney Kimber in the national dual meet finals, beating somebody that had beaten her pretty bad a few months before, and she knows what I'm talking about if she listens to this. She is a competitor. She's tough. She gets better all the time. She's a perfectionist. She wants to do well in everything that she learns and in the classroom and all that stuff. But watching her beat somebody that had beaten her a few months before to help her team win was pretty unbelievable. And that's the first thing that sticks out in my mind every time somebody asks me that question. I think one other thing is watching Emma Bruntel wrestle in the Bill Farrell tournament and then fly back, get on the bus with us, and then win the Missouri Valley Open was another thing that stands out in my head, of just somebody who wants to compete. Somebody who's just like, I want to compete, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle. And it spent a few years, at the Olympic Training Center, and got some great training and great coaches and great practice partners, and then comes here and just wants to compete, wants to wrestle, and had a few years where she battled some injuries, and that was pretty incredible for me to watch too. Another one is just, the national tournament and whatever, people want to say about it or call it or whatever, but watching some girls that really deserve the limelight, that finally got that light shine on them, is pretty awesome, that have spent some time, battling through their own confidence in their wrestling, and, just everything that goes along. Any wrestler, at this level knows what people struggle with, right? The belief in yourself and the body aches and, the schoolwork and the late nights and the early mornings and all that stuff. But watching it pay off for those girls at our national tournament was pretty incredible. And I sit and think about it and just think of, the things that stand out, and that's one of them too. But also, one other thing that stands out, and maybe people probably don't know of her. Hopefully she doesn't hear me. She has to listen to this later, but she's in my living room right now doing yoga with my wife. But Natalie Reyna, watching her walk off the mat at the U.S. Open, which she had competed at the U.S. Open before coming to McKendree, but watching and listening to her walk off the mat at the U.S. Open and saying that she had never won a match there before, and she placed right at 50 kilograms. So hearing that come out of her mouth and just seeing the belief then in her own ability and what she can do stands out in my head about our season too. It's one of the moments that really just like kind of as a coach really, not because there's a lot of people who invest in her. There's some of her teammates and her roommates who invest a lot in her wrestling, not only herself, but as a coach, just hearing that out of her mouth where she's just, I didn't even know, I've never even won a match at the U.S. Open, and now she's in the top 8. I mean, that to me is at a really, really tough weight class, stands out in my head too. So
yeah, and you could see it early in the season, when Natalie hit the mat. Yeah. I mean, she was wrestling really well early, and it just kind of carried right through. And she had a really special year. And of course, to watch Bruntel go on just a crazy run, right through the senior nationals. And right through the National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championships, I mean, really had a special year. Talk about Flex Ward and what it means for you as a coach to watch her walk off the mat as a senior, with a national title?
I don't know if I'm gonna get emotional because that kid's gone through a lot. I'll never forget recruiting Alexia. I was back home. This is before I got married and everything else, but I was back home at my parents' house, and I told my mom, my parents lived in Salem, Oregon, and Alexia went to school in Beaverton, Oregon at Westview High School, which is about an hour and 15 minutes probably from where my parents live. And I went to my mom and said, hey, can I borrow your car today? I'm going to go up and talk to this girl that wrestles up at Westview High School. She's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And so I left for the day and drove up there and kind of made a day of it. I went Christmas shopping and did some things, but went to her high school and they were moving mats and gave her a sweatshirt and said, hey, we would really love to have you come visit and be a part of our program. So, I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi. And then fast forward 5 years later, her winning a national title after being a freshman All-American in the WCWA, and then winning, that title this year. Just, I know her and I had some conversations last year after, her heartbreaking loss in the All-American round at 123 at WCWA's, and just, the things that we had talked about of just, it's hard to put all that time and effort in, right? Put all that time and effort in and not get what you want. And it makes my hair stand up on the back of my neck just knowing that it paid off for her in that way. She really is one of those kids who truly works her tail off and does a lot of great things, is a great teammate, just puts her head down and just will run through a wall for you. It's just amazing to see it pay off for her. It's pretty special. So yeah.
Were you surprised that Pauline Granados won it all? I mean, she's an amazing wrestler, but she, true freshman, right?
Not 1 second. That is the strongest little munchkin I've ever seen in my entire life. She is strong. She's powerful. She's another one that just wants to learn and tries new things. And okay, I'll try this. And, and actually I don't even spend enough time helping that kid. She does that on her own. And she's in the weight room every day of the week. And just, I don't mean to sound rude when I say that, but no, it wasn't a surprise in my mind. I'm surprised when she loses.
Honestly. I mean, that 5 she hit in the finals, like that to me, that was like a signature.
That was a leaning moment, like we talked about earlier. Yeah. I almost fell out of my chair.
That's right. Yeah.
That was epic.
It was intense, just like camping. It was intense.
There's another question came in online. And Ben, after this, if you had any questions, throw it to you.
Yeah.
Sid Caesar asks, with all the new and upcoming women's college programs, what advice do you have for aspiring coaches who want to coach college women's teams?
Try it. Go. I was tricked into this, and that's not a joke. I tell people that all the time. I say no, I was literally tricked into coaching women's wrestling. I was a grad assistant. I barely had enough money to eat. I was living in an apartment that was infested with roaches and all sorts of stuff. I had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and cans of tuna, and I wanted a full-time job, and this is what I wanted to do. And they came to me and said, well, if you want a little bit more money, you can be a part-time coach, and but you have to coach the women's wrestling team. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then I was hooked. I was hooked. They listened. We had some awesome kids at Lindenwood Belleville that first year. Some of them followed us over to McKendree, Haley Lilly and Elena Jimenez and Ashley Miles and Allison Hoshide and some great kids. But I was hooked after that, and I fell in love with women's wrestling. So, if that's something you want to do, I'm more than happy to help people if they can reach out to me, and I'd love to help them. Find a women's wrestling job out there or something, because we just need good people. We just need good coaches and people who want to take the time to coach at the women's wrestling at the college level. It doesn't matter. I learn every day. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to do in 20 minutes when I'm done talking to you guys, right? But we learn, as coaches, and if you think that you can't do it, you're going to learn how. And I'm here. I'll teach you what I know, which isn't a whole lot, but I can help. if you're lost, I reach out to people all the time. My college coach and Coach Kiskin and people that, that I take advice from. I reach out all the time when I don't know something. And we would never be anything here at McKendree if it wasn't for those people who even give me advice. So if somebody wants to do that, man, try it. We just need.
How would you reach out to you, Coach?
You can email me. My email address is on our website. Shoot me an email. I don't know if I'll throw my cell phone. I don't know how people are watching. If I'll throw my cell phone.
Yeah, just stick with the email for now.
Yeah, but shoot me an email. stschmitz@mckendree.edu. Just shoot me an email. And I mean, if I can help, I will. I don't know everything, but if I can help, I'll try. So.
I have a question. So, you've been talking about your wrestlers, and it's, in all sincerity, you're doing a fantastic job there, and really happy for you personally. When you talk about your wrestlers, though, you're talking more than just their wrestling abilities. You're definitely hitting on things about the quality of person and the character of the individual. I'm curious what, for you, you look for in a leader, and what you look for. I imagine you're probably looking for all your all the young wrestlers there to be leaders on your team. What is it that you're trying to build in them as it relates to leadership in life?
I just take charge. Take charge. Don't be afraid to tell somebody how it is, and hold their teammates accountable, or take charge of something, right? Even if it's like, hey guys, let's all go on a run today, or let's get an extra workout in, or whatever it is. And I think that leads to a lot of things in life, taking charge, because you're going to have to take charge when you want to go find a job. I think one thing that kids see in this society today is they think they get done with college and people are just going to be handing them job applications. Like, here, come work for me. And that's just not, I just told the story. I had overdrafting my account to put gas in my car so I could even get to work, right? I didn't have my power was getting shut off in my apartment. So it's, you don't have, it doesn't always work that way when you have something you want to do. And that's what you want to do. It's going to be a struggle for a little bit. And I think taking charge is something I try to challenge our kids to do, and trying new things, and just kind of stepping outside their comfort zone. And you know what, our kids probably don't think that I care too much, but my wife could tell you I'm up in the middle of the night worried about this thing for them or that thing for them. And I just want them to be that way in their life, is just care about everything that they're doing, and take time and effort, and do things right, and learn, and not be scared to fail. And when we try to find kids, I would rather have a kid that, maybe wasn't a 4-time Fargo champ, or a 2-time Fargo champ, or 4-time California state champ. I just want a kid that wants to get better, and is willing to be coached, and be a good teammate. And if you're willing to do those things, and any good coach would take, those kind of kids. But if you're willing to do those things, you're going to get better at wrestling, and you're going to be pretty dang successful in life, in my opinion. And whatever you deem or label as success in life, you're going to be good at it. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
it's really helpful.
Yeah, I just love our kids because they, number one, they have to deal with me every day, which is not an easy task, but they do a really good job of challenging themselves, I hear, they tell me all the time, I have no idea. They'll tell me, hey, I got a job over here and this. I'm like, wow, you stepped outside your comfort zone and went and applied for that job. That's awesome. That kind of stuff. And
what do you do when a recruit comes in and they say to you, I want to be number one on the team. I want to be number one at the weight class. How do you handle that internally?
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take some work, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had some freshmen come in and they got a quick dose of humble pie. I'm probably the police might roll up in my house right now, but I'll tell you, Felicity Taylor's in my living room doing yoga with my wife too, and I'll never forget her looking at me and just like, just got done winning Fargo a few months before, had been the outstanding wrestler in Fargo, and she looks at me after practice and just like, I don't think she scored a point all day long. Right. And she was this phenom out of high school, right, as a senior. And I said, hey, it's okay. Guess what? You want to be on a team where you have to fight and you have to scrap for every point, because guess what? When we go out into a tournament, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because you're going to be tested. and the mental fortitude you need, and the resilience you need to get through practice wrestling kids at your weight class, that are just beating you up and not letting you score. I mean, imagine when you unleash all that on somebody else, right? So, and obviously it pays off for in the end, but yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question either. Sorry, I just start going and I get excited and.
No, that's what I love hearing.
And I haven't been able to wrestle for like 2 months. So.
Hey, Coach. One final question. I know that your faith is important to you, and it informs you, it informs your coaching, it informs your parenting, it informs your life. So can you just talk about, what role faith plays in your approach to wrestling, as a competitor in the past and maybe now as a coach?
Yeah, I think my walk with Christ is, it's a never ending battle. I've talked about that a lot, that I am far from a perfect human. And I think the reminder that God can just, throw his blanket of grace on me and forgive me for the things that I've done in my life, reminds me that as a coach, I need to make sure I know that these kids are not perfect. They're going to mess up when I ask them to do something. They're not going to give 110% every day, even though we ask that of them. And the same thing goes with my parenting. I fail at being a dad daily. I fail at being a husband daily.
Yeah, you and me both.
And I think, I think knowing that kind of puts me in a different place as a coach, just knowing that, man, I'm not a perfect coach and I don't know everything. And these kids can teach me 10 times more than I can ever teach them. And if us as coaches, if we can keep doing that and keep just learning and growing, and I think we'll be better for it. But yeah, I mean, my walk in faith is a constant, hills and valleys where, sometimes I wonder if God still loves me. And then the next day I find something in my Bible that reminds me that he does. My parents were a huge rock in my religious journey growing up. I would pull out of my driveway. I'll never forget the rest of my life. I'd pull out of my driveway early in the morning and see my dad. We had a hot tub out in front of our house. I'd pull out, and my headlights of my truck would be on my dad, and he would just give me a wave, sitting in the hot tub. But come years later, I'd find out that he's out there in his spiritual time and reading his Bible and praying for our family and for his ability to lead our family, and that's something that really hit me as I walked further into my coaching career, and now a parent and now a husband, is just praying for the ability to lead these people, and praying for the strength to deal with the things that comes with, right? The constant criticism of you're not doing things right, or you should do this, or you should do this,
or a quarantine.
Yeah, or a quarantine, right? And being able to fight through this and do it the right way. And again, we're not perfect. And I think my faith constantly reminds me that I'm not perfect. I don't have it figured out. I'm an idiot daily. And if I can continue to battle through that, I think it's just going to make me a better coach and help our kids be better wrestlers and better people. So yeah, it is big for me. And my wife's a huge spiritual rock for me too, even now. I mean, so.
It sounds like believing in grace toward you has made you, have grace toward others. Yeah. And it sounds like it's shaping, it's culture shaping.
Yeah, I hope so. I think us as a culture and a society, I think we need some Jesus in our lives nowadays, and I hope that this quarantine, I know it's done it for me and my wife, but I hope this quarantine is helping people kind of come back to themselves and come back to faith, and knowing that God's going to save the world, and he has that grace for everybody. So
yeah, and I think we're all gonna come out of this different, right? We're gonna come out of it different personally, as coaches, as wrestlers, as athletes, as organizations, as businesses. I mean, I don't think anything's going to be the same, but like you say, I think that we can be better on the other side, and we can take the positives out of this and let it shape us, not ruin us. So we appreciate all that you're doing, for the wrestling community, and all the jokes aside, all that you're doing for our joy, you know,
Absolutely.
and all that you're doing for those young women there, not only in your program but really throughout the women's wrestling community. I know you've been on the USA as a team coach overseas, and I know a lot of young women look up to you, and you mean a lot to the community. And we appreciate all the time you've taken today and for being a good sport and letting us have a little fun and answering the questions, and really appreciate that.
Of course, yeah. And thank you guys for thinking of me and bringing me on and allowing me to joke with you and letting me win. I appreciate that. That's going to boost my ego for the rest of the day. And since my wife's the only national champ in this house, individual national champ in this house, it makes me, I can.
You can own that now.
I won something for the day.
You're a dad joke national champion.
She hasn't won anything today, so I can win the day. I can win the day. So
congratulations. And again, thanks, Ben. Thanks for joining us on the show here. And until next time, as we say, we are out.